Hello, boys and girls and children of all ages. It is your teacher, Miss St. Pierre here, and we're back again to start another project. I know it is your favorite, but just hold your applause to the end, because this one is going to be a big project, and you're going to have lots of fun, and it's very interesting. Telling you. At the first, you might be like, I'm so tired of hearing about this, but at the end, you're going to just feel so relieved that you just have all this knowledge that you're going to be able to help others with. So as you can see right here on my title page, we're going to be learning about the pandemic. So yes, you're like, Miss St. Pierre, I'm so tired of hearing about this pandemic. I already know everything I need to know. But do you really? So let's dive into this and let's see what we're going to learn. So right now, these are the norms of 2020. If you look at this picture right here, you have a man walking, entering, people have masks on and they're taking his temperature. You have these people in these hazmat suits with these sprayers that spray to sanitize all the material around them. You have people just walking wherever they're walking, they have these masks on. So these are the times that we're in right now. 2020 is a time that is different than any other time period we lived in. Anywhere you go, you have to be cautious. You have to make sure you're away from people. You have to make sure you have a mask on. You have to make sure that you're not sick and you're not going anywhere. So we have all of these different things. But why? Do you really know what the coronavirus is? It's popular in the news, but what actually is it? That's what we're going to explore today. That's what we're going to explore the next few weeks when you're working on these projects. So if you actually look right here on the right, it is a picture of a coronavirus. This is what the virus actually looks like. Now remember, it's so microscopic that you cannot even see it. But what is it? What does it do? How does it function? How can we get rid of it? Why is this such a big deal? These are probably all questions that you've thought to yourself at least once during this whole pandemic time. So this is something that we're really going to address. So what are we doing? We're doing something new that we haven't done yet in this class. We're going to do a project-based learning method. What it is everyone's going to have a chance to research in their group. They're going to research questions about corona. Then we're going to have each group choose an extra question to research and answer. So you all have a class set of questions. You're all going to be required to answer these questions. We'll have assignments in between the big assignment that we get the big picture of this whole lesson. So those are all going to be formative assessments. And then at the end, you're going to make this video. And this video is going to be your summative assessment. It's going to show me all your knowledge from everything from the past few weeks. So we'll work on this twice this week. And then for the next 4 weeks, we're going to work on it one time a week in class. And then the last week, we're going to work on it again twice in class. Now, this is a project that most of the work will be done in class. You wouldn't have to go and work in groups off campus. However, you still have reflections and information that you're going to have to go and type and make sure you have ready to turn in. However, I know right now it's kind of hard to go and meet up with your groups outside of school. Some people have jobs, some people don't have cars yet, some people just have other things they have to do, and I understand that. So it's going to be hard to meet up with everyone. So that's why every week I'm giving you time in class to be able to go and do this project. So your overall goal is to create a video. And this video could be on YouTube if you want to post it on YouTube, if that's easiest for you. If you don't want to post it on YouTube, I need you to give it to me somehow on a jump drive, email it to me, in any way you could work to where you get it to me for me to watch. I don't want this to be any longer than 20 minutes. Depending how you do it, some of y'all might only be 5 minutes. But just make sure all your information's in there. Make sure it's exciting. Make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying. You're not leaving anything out. That way you get your full credit. I want you to explain the questions that I gave you. I want you to go in deep to that extra question that you chose. What information can you teach the class? Everybody else is learning all the other things, but I want to make sure you learned it. But that last question that you're going to choose, what you're about to get to, this is a question that you may be the only group to have. So I want you to make sure that whenever everybody watches your videos, your class feels that they learned something at the end of this video. I have one more requirement. I have 2 more requirements. Everyone must be in the video. Everyone must at least say something at one point in the video. It's okay if one person narrates and other people kind of act out, but I want everybody to speak at least once. And then visuals must be present in the video. You could create a PowerPoint and do like I'm doing with Screencast-O-Matic and talk right there. You could create scenarios, you could act out, you could hold up posters, whatever you need to do. You could put in animations in here if you know how to do all those things. Whatever you need to do to get the information across to everyone and give visuals for people to better understand what you're talking about. Whatever works for you is perfectly fine with me. If you have any questions about any of these, you could just come and find me, come email me, whatever you need to do to make sure that we're on the same page and that you're not trying to go I want you to go above and beyond, but you're not trying to make it too complicated for you, or you're not thinking hard enough about it to where there's other ideas that you can implement. So groups. So the point of the groups is for cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is when you learn with other people around you. It's a lot easier to learn in groups than it is by yourself. If I go and I give you this worksheet and I tell you to work it out, if you get stuck, you're stuck. But if you're in a group, you could talk it out, you could help, you could bounce ideas off of each other, you could help one another. One person may understand this really well, one person may not understand this very well. But if you work together as a team, you'll be able to go and push through that whole worksheet. So that's why I wanted to put you in groups to work in. I feel like this whole project would be a lot better if you would all work together as a team. So I'm going to decide the groups. I already have the groups picked out. I went through and I just kind of looked at your performances in the class and what you have done, and I grouped you by that. Everyone is responsible for their own work though, so don't rely if you feel like somebody in your group is like, oh, this person's going to do all the work. That's not what's going to happen, because you're going to have an evaluation written by your peers at the end of this, and that's going to reflect a big part of your grade. If your whole group says that you didn't do anything, sorry, you're not going to get an A like everybody else might get an A. You may get a D, probably even an F. Discussion is necessary. Anytime you're in class, I need you to talk. I need you to communicate. I need you to talk about, okay, what is it we need to do? What is something we could push forward with? What is the answer to this? Let me assign you do question number 1, you do question number 2, different things like that. Just anything that you feel is necessary to talk about. Talk about your answers. If y'all all researching the same question, y'all compare. Y'all pick and choose what you think's important. And last thing I want to talk about with groups is assign roles. So there's usually 4 of you in a group. I want a leader. The leader's going to go and make sure everybody kind of stays on task and kind of pushes through. It's the one who, if there's a discussion that's kind of getting heated, just kind of like, okay guys, like remember the point of this. I need a timekeeper. Every day you're going to have a different task. I want that timekeeper to go and make sure nobody's spending more time than they need to, or making sure that they're wasting 20 minutes in the class because they're saying they're done. Trust me, it won't take you 20 minutes to complete this each day. I need a recorder. This person is going to go and make sure they have a final copy from their group. So there's something you're going to turn in every day. Oh, I'm sorry, every week. And I'm going to have that listed on a later slide. But that recorder is going to be responsible for making a hard copy before you leave class to prove to me that you did work on something. Now, it's not going to be turned in, but I need to see it to make sure that your class didn't just fart around the whole class. And I need a designated questioner. So anytime the group has a question, I want that one person to come and find me. That way it's not people all running around the room trying to come find me. That one person can raise their hand so I know I need to go approach this group. And that one person's going to talk so all 4 of you don't try to talk at the same time. I feel like that would be a little less chaotic and a little bit more efficient. So our anticipated schedule. So we're going to do this, I said, for about 6 weeks. So week 1, day 1, you're going to meet with your groups and you're going to decide which extra question you want to answer. And once you figure all that out, I want you to create an outline to be turned into the next class of how your group plans and your group roles to carry out this project. How do you think you might want to split up this project? What are you possibly thinking of you're going to do for your big final video? Who's the leader? Who's the recorder? Who's the timekeeper? Who's the questioner? All these things need to be written. I want that at the end of the class to be turned in. week 1, day 2, your groups are going to research the first question that assigns you as a class. And you're going to create a graphic organizer with all the information you're talking about. I need sources. I need the names of all your group members. Each person is going to turn this in, but put your name first and your group members' names after you, so I could always make sure your papers are all together. I want a graphic organizer. Now we're going to do this every Friday. Every Friday is going to be our PBL day. But I won't have you turn it until Monday, because I understand that it's going to be hard to finish all that writing and everything. You might not completely finish at the end of every class period. So I'm giving you the weekend, and you have till Monday till you walk into my class to turn that into me. And that way when you turn that into me, I could go and I could grade it, and I'll give it back to you the next day. It's so I know that you're working and you're learning what you're supposed to be learning, and it gives me an idea of, okay, where are you at? Which groups are kind of getting this? Which groups are kind of needing help? So I could go assess that information and go to you to where if your group really needs help, I could go and address where you need help and see what you're struggling with. So week 2, day 1, you're going to meet in your groups again, and you're going to discuss the second question and create a page-long paper with the information. I want you to just kind of write a narrative or whatever, just go and just spit out information for me, where you got it, and just explain it and how it's relevant to coronavirus and everything like that. Same thing is to be turned in on Monday for a grade. Week 3, day 1, you're going to research the third question, and you're going to create an outline with this information to be turned in on Monday. Week 4, day 1, groups are going to research this fourth question and a graphic organizer with the information. That's also going to be turned in the following Monday. So now we're going to reach week 5, day 1. The groups are going to research the fourth question and create a page-long paper with this information. And it's going to be turned in on Monday. I just realized I have the fourth question twice. I do not mean to put the fourth question right there. What this is supposed to say is research your extra question. The extra question and create a page-long paper with the information. I need you to do that again. You're going to turn this in on Monday. Week 6, day 1, you're going to start planning out what your videos are going to be. What do you want to do? How do you want to turn this in? Do you want to do a YouTube video? Do you want to do so like Vimeo or something? Some other little crazy video app that some of you use? Do you want to just create it and email it to me? Plans like that. How do you want to do this information? Do you want to make a PowerPoint? Do you want to do some little skits? Are you going to have a big old scenario? Are you just going to sit here and talk for an hour and bore everyone to death? Whatever you want to do, I need that all information written down. You could start recording if you're ready to record that day. However, it's not necessary. Now, I know it won't take you a whole class period to do that, but if you want to go and make sure everything's all good, because the next day, week 6, day 2, is when you're actually, everybody has to be on recording on that day. Final recordings are going to be due on that Monday, so if you have any video editing, that could be done. So if you want all that raw footage that first day, that way the weekend y'all could all work together and try to figure out how to turn it in. But I will also let you know this. I have week 7 on your own. By Wednesday, I need at least one reflection of what you learned. However, this could be pushed back to week 8 if I need a week 8 to where you're not finishing your videos. I see that it's taking you way longer to maybe complete your questions. So all this is tentative. So these dates are subject to change if I see it's fit. If the videos aren't close to being finished, I will give you another week. Now, don't rely on that. If you're the only group not finished and everyone else is finished, I expect you to be finished for that Monday for when that video is ready to be turned in. So if any questions about the schedules, call me on my office phone, shoot me a text on Remind, an email, whatever you need to do to contact me, ask me in class. So our objective we're going to touch on is obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about viral and bacterial reproduction and adaptation, the body's primary defenses against infection, and how these features impact the design of effective treatment. For this project, we will only focus on viruses. After we learn about viruses, then we're going to start on bacterial reproduction and adaptation and all those other words that I just said. So right now we're just focusing on viruses. After viruses, we're going to go to bacteria. That's for another day. So here are the questions that you're going to have to answer as a class. Each one of you are going to have to answer this in your videos. What are viruses? What makes something a virus? Like, can an animal cell be a virus? Or is it like some type of bacteria? Or what is it? How do they reproduce? So we know it's not one infecting everyone. So how does this spread around? How does it reproduce? How does the body react when the virus enters the body? What happens? How does the body react? What goes towards it? What in the body reacts and how does it react is what I'm looking for. And how can we treat viruses? Is it something that we could take orally, shots? What type of medicine? How do we take it? And what does it do? Like, what does it do to the virus itself? Those are the questions I'm looking for. As a class, as each group, I want you to come together and figure out which question on this list is what you want to answer. What are the best precautions to take to prevent yourself from contracting a virus? I want you to find articles to back up and demonstrate in your video. So right now we're wearing masks. Is this something really useful to protect ourselves from a virus? What's something else we could do? I want you to give a few examples. I want you to have more than 2. So at least 3 examples, So you could tell me, okay, this is how I would prevent myself from getting a virus, A, B, and C, and this is why. And I want you to just cite something, because at the end, you're going to have a citation page. At the end of your video, you're just going to have a little clip, like 10 seconds of all your sources you use throughout the whole project. That goes for everybody. The second question you could choose is the coronavirus as contagious as it sounds? Provide statistics and relatable articles to back up your argument. Reliable articles to back up your argument. So is this pandemic kind of out of control? Like, is it we're taking this out of proportion, or is it that we're not taking enough precautions, or are we reacting exactly how we should? So just kind of look at it as a whole pandemic, and is it contagious? Is it really affecting as many people? Do you think the media is lying? Now, I don't want to get political or anything like that. I want you to find reliable sources, scientific articles, nothing from like a news source, scientific articles to back up this information. Can any virus cause a pandemic like the corona? Is the corona the only one that can cause a pandemic? If so, why? What characteristic does it cause does it take for a virus to be used in a pandemic? And if so, should we live our lives wearing masks and social distancing? So now that we've been introduced to this new virus, the rest of our lives now and the rest of history, the rest of the future, are we going to have to do this from now on? Is this going to be the new norm? I want you to go and research that and find information to back that up. And the last question is, we're over 7 months into this pandemic. Why is it so hard to get rid of this virus? How long do they usually last? You can mention past pandemics in your video, and you could say, oh, we had a pandemic in this year for this virus or this bacterial infection or blah, 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 blah. And I want you to go and say, okay, well, how long did it last? Why does it last that long? How many people does it affect? I want you to really dig deep in here and just whatever you feel is necessary. If you have any questions, like I said, you could always come ask me. If you don't know, hey, is this included, or is this enough? Am I reaching all the goals you're wanting me to meet? And lastly, I just want you to get excited about it. Be creative. Think outside the box. Show me something that's just going to wow me. Something that's going to make me want to pay attention to your entire video. You're the teacher, so how would you want to be taught this information? How do you learn best? That might be the best way for you to teach it. I want you to show me your tech skills. Show me some cool things. I know you guys can probably do amazing things with these videos. Some cool animations, transitions, music in the background, narration. I want to see all these skills you have. The main thing is I want you to learn. You're doing all this information. I don't want you to just go and just kind of just read the words and not understand their meaning. Go and understand these words. Know what everything means. Know the definitions and how everything functions together. I want you to go so at the end of this, you could explain this to whoever. If somebody's like, oh, yeah, this is about the coronavirus, and you could be like, actually, and you could give them the correct information. Be that fact checker. And lastly, I just want you guys to have fun. I thought a video would be a great way for you to get to know the people in your class, get to know how to make videos, get to know about viruses, and just see how creative you could be. I'm very excited to see what all of you will come up with. So we're going to be working on this for the next few weeks. This will take us a long time to go. Now, in between each one, we will talk about these topics. So Monday through Thursday each week, we'll kind of talk about these questions. We'll have a lot of discussion. And we might throw in some bacterial things in there, so you'll tell me about viruses, and I'll tell you about bacteria, and maybe we can compare and contrast them. So I have a few ideas in mind of what we're going to do during those weeks, but I want to see what you come up with first. So what you come up with and how long this is going to take you is going to tell me how deep I could go into these subjects and how much it would take, how much is too much on you guys. So I hope you guys have a great day. I cannot wait to see you the next time we're in class. So have fun. Can't wait to get this started. Bye guys.